Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to 1360's recap video. Before we proceed, please don't forget to subscribe, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Well, as you can see, we had quite an interesting year, or better say decade. In this game we had like a very empty beginning. Mostly it was the previous generation kind of dying out and aging up at this point, like becoming young adults and dying, or becoming adults and dying, or surviving through it. But very little percentage actually survived, and just so you know, by the end of this decade I am left with 38 sims, which is crazy. You can see that at some point we started to recover, but if you look a little bit lower here, because Lucia was the first one born in 1363, this is all the children that will be rolling to become a child. They are 8. It's not a big number, you know. Considering if you look back, we had a child born every day. Yes, sometimes everyone died, but still the heaviness of everything was very different back in the day before the Black Plague. So if there was a way for me to describe this decade, it would be kind of still trying to recover from the Black Plague. The family is very divided now, and I eventually updated thumbnails during this decade to sort of represent the heir family, the second heirs, and the third heirs. So in case something happens, we know what's up. Now, to walk you through this decade, I decided to use the thumbnails as well to kind of show you where we started and where we ended. So in the center here you see my heir family. This is Richard, our heir, and his wife Julia, his second wife Julia actually, and their 4 children. Then on the left side you have sims that descended from Reginald, and on the right side you have Justin, who descended from Lumberjacksons, who were brother and sister of original heir of Gen 1. In the next tier you can see that we got Leonard, who became a second boy in our main household, and we also got a kitten called Sarah, named after one of the viewers on Twitch. In 62 he already became a toddler, and in 63 you can already see the difference in the tree. It's because I have added brothers of Richard, our heir, into the mix here. So his younger brother Adam with his son Osbert and daughter Isabella, they also adopted a dog. And his wife, Adam's wife, already died by this point, but basically they are second to be the heirs. And then we have Dennis, who looks the most Greenwoody possible sim, with his wife, but unfortunately they ended up having no children. And you can see he's wearing a gold knight outfit. It's because he's been to war twice. Oh well, in the next slide you have even more changes, because Dennis already aged up into adult, and also Julia. And their daughter became a teenager. Unfortunately, she rolled to never get married, and she will be available in my gallery, same as many other sims that I usually upload if they roll to never get married. Also, our cat Sarah became an adult cat. In the gen after that, you can see some other parts of the family aging up, including our future heir Richard, our future heir Gregory. Here he is. So he became a teenager. In the year after that you can see that Osbert is fully grown up on the left, and he married spellcaster Numa, and also his sister Isolde became a teenager and rolled to have like 12 pregnancies, so we'll see how this works out for them. In 67 again you see many different sims aging up, especially in the main household. And by the way, the blonde lady with the short hair is Julia. It's just that she got older and her hair, she used to be ginger, kind of started to get more grayish, but we don't really have ginger gray mix hair swatch in the game. Next up you see Leslie Holland popped up here. She actually married Gregory, and not much of other things has happened here, except for the fact that Dennis lost his wife, and now he's all alone, unfortunately, and he already used all of his pregnancy chances. In the last year so far, you can see that Leslie sort of disappeared. It's because she died at childbirth and together with the child. So Gregory is single again and still not heir because Richard is there. You can also see that Numa and Osbert have no children popping up recently, it's because they only had 2 pregnancy chances, unfortunately, and both of them were unsuccessful. Therefore, you know, this branch of the family will be dying off. And here's a sneak peek for the next video. You can see that Gregory has remarried, and I'm very curious to see how this will work out. That's just a scene I found on the gallery and heavily edited. She still looks, like, facial features wise, quite modern. But I'm happy that this happened and we have this possibility in the main families to do that. And you can see that bunch of teenager seems moved away and they married into different families, and one of the main families that we used in this video were Landgrabs, both Johnny Zest and Malcolm Landgrab, but also Don Lothario was moved into this world. Now let's go a little bit and check what has happened. So we had Benedict and Matilda here on top, our Gen 0. They had 3 children. Well, let's focus on the heir, who was Adam. Adam married Eva. They were my Gen 1 Sims. And they had a bunch of children, but unfortunately, everything was sort of unsuccessful. Let me show you. So we're not going in order of inheritance here, but you can see that their daughter Gail married Travis and all of their children died. You can see that Margaret married Hugo Villarreal, moved to Spain. Then her daughter Gotha was married to George Cahill, but she died at childbirth. During Black Plague, I don't really remember, but Gotha died, and therefore kind of all of this family also died out. Our only hope that was brother of our ex-heir, Gilbert. His brother Simon and his wife Luna had just one son, William, who managed to survive. He got married. He wrote to have some pregnancy chances, but unfortunately all of the past children died, and therefore this family is not continuing moving forward. So now we are left with Gilbert's children as the only solution to this family to move forward. And Richard, he was previously married to Margaret Greenwood, who died. They had Philip, Gemma, Edward, Osbert, and Philip. And I do remember vividly that Osbert and Philip and maybe Margaret all died during Black Plague. So he remarried Julia, and with Julia they had even more children, but also not very successfully, I must add. So you can see that our future heir, supposedly Gregory, was married to Leslie Holland, aka Leslie Greenwood, and they had son Reginald, but the child and Leslie died. Now he married Elvira, so let's hope it will be fine. Matilda, as I said, rolled to never get married, so she will be up in my gallery, and hopefully somebody else will add her to their game and she can have a long and successful life. Younger daughter Alina became a Landgrab. She married Johnny Landgrab, that in the original game is called Johnny Zest, but we all know that he is the Landgrab. So they don't have children together yet. Those are the children from Johnny's previous marriage. And then they still have Arabelle and Leonard that will be aging up in the next decade. So we will be rolling for their marriage and pregnancy chances once they're teenagers. Now, moving on to Richard's younger brother Adam. His wife Elizabeth died, and they had 2 children left, which was Osbert, who married Numa, but unfortunately they ran out of pregnancy chances, and Osbert will be dying alone here. But his daughter Isolda married Don Lothario, who also has a child from previous marriage, but I'm really hoping that this will work and we will have many Lotharios, because I want famous Sim surnames to kind of be in my challenge, because we lost Goth family completely at this point. And Dennis Greenwood, I'm not even gonna open. All of their children died at birth, so also all of this will be kind of useless. Kind reminder, of course, that my big presentation still exists. I don't know how many slides it has at this point, but for example, this is Bella Goth, not the original Bella Goth, but probably like a great granddaughter of Bella Goth, and she's the one who was married to Don Lothario, and this one child that he has was from her. Unfortunately, she died during childbirth. And the presentation has 189 pages, and I do take a note of each year which Sims dies in this century. And I don't know if I will continue doing this presentation in this way in future. Let me know if it's interesting for anyone. The link for it in the description down below. I just want to hear some feedback. Maybe I should minimize this just to the main family or just to the heirs. Speaking of heirs, we didn't change the heir in this decade, but we will in the next decade because Richard will be dying. And here you have all the heirs from previous generations. In case the next heir is Gregory, we will start a new page there and we'll highlight when he will be reigning the house. Link is also available in the description down below in case you're interested. Plus we have a photo album where I put all the random screenshots I take of the family life. And well, there's not many changes in the world itself because, as I said, we are a very small community. I just want to highlight some fun activities we tried in this decade. So as I told you, we got our cat Sarah, who is about to become elder already in the next decade, and I tried very hard for her to mate with somebody, with Mayor Whiskers and another Persian cat that is there, and it's just not working. So I might give up on this. And as you can see, we're missing some of the children here, mostly because I moved all the girls away in order to allow potential triplets to be born to Gregory and his wife, but also in order for the cat to be able to get pregnant. I just really wanted to test it, and that's how it happened. And since Matilda rolled to never get married, she kind of took over her sisters a little bit, and they live in this little cabin over there. We don't play with them anymore. And last but not least, in the last video in 1369, we had to roll for the new set of 5-year war, which is 200-year war, but we're doing 5 years. And for this new installment, only one sim went to war, and this sim is my future potential heir Gregory. So I'm not exactly happy about it, but he's gonna be locked in there until 1374. So we'll see how all of this develops in the next decade. His wife is pregnant though, so maybe at least she will help him continue his destiny in case he dies there, you know. As I'm filming this, the Sims gallery is on maintenance, so it looks a bit weird probably. Plus, I mean, I play on console, just kind reminder. But you can see here uploaded Gunilda Goth and Edric Goth. I write all the family story, when they were born, what kind of background they have. Same goes for Macduff and for Christina Greenwood. For basically every sim that rolls that they will not get married, you can find them in my gallery. Plus all the renovations of the base game / base pack. Families like the Delgato family from Pets and Dogs I already uploaded. And I basically age up all the parents to adults and all the children to young adults. Because on console, obviously I cannot use mods, so I cannot marry teenagers, but in this time period it's allowed to marry at 16. So I pretend they're teenagers, but they're not anymore. So anyway guys, this was it for this recap. I still wonder in figuring out if and what concept of this video is the best, while trying to give you a little bit of update in case you of course don't have time to watch the full streams. Also, as I'm filming this, on my YouTube is currently 30s, and that was the heavily edited versions of the streams, and I'm waiting to see if I prefer those or I prefer to put up full streams. But anyway, most importantly, I will be happy to see everyone on stream who watches, so please join me. So that will be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to click like, subscribe and leave a comment, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye!